A foot foul? Are you kidding me? You gonna call that a foot foul?
So, what's a Mary Ellen?
All right, so it all comes down to this, folks. It is notched at 18. We got one bag left. He pulls back, fires, and it's good!
Four in the hole, I think that's a slam.
Welcome to the third episode of the Baggo Podcast. I'm your host, Todd Williams. Baggo is located in Hot Springs, Arkansas, where we host our annual state championship at Oaklawn Racing Casino and Resort. This year, we will host our 14th state championship featuring over $3,000 cash and prizes. In 14 years, we've gave away a lot of money, crowned many different champions, and most of all, we've played a lot of Baggo. Our first ever championship was all the way back in 2007 on the campus of the University of Central Arkansas. And that's where episode 3 begins. In 2007, we were first introduced to Team Mohawk. So what was so special about them? Well, back then they were just kids from a small town with big dreams. I traveled around 6 hours round trip to capture this David and Goliath type story. Now let's hear from Clayton and Breyer and Team Mohawk. All right, today we are in Pocahontas, Arkansas at the Moose Lodge for episode 3 of the Baggo Podcast. I'm sitting here with Clayton Huffstedler. Hey Clayton, how you doing today?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Good, man. Good. Glad to have you. And Breyer Ship.
Very good. Very good.
All right, man. All right, good. So let's start from the beginning. You guys kind of just burst onto the scene in 2007. Nobody had ever really seen you, didn't know anything about you. Of course, you guys were kids at the time. So if we go back to the beginning, when do you first remember playing Baggo for the first time?
Well, I think it was when I was 12 and Briar's a year older, so maybe 13. Our dads were good friends growing up and actually lived right across the street. So they were there, and we'd go visit them on the weekends, and we got to know each other, and Briar and his dad brought up Baggo and brought it over to us, and we started playing and just kind of haven't looked back since.
Yeah, I started. My grandparents was actually the first ones to get it that I know of, and they used to stomp me at it and everything. I think I was like 11 when I actually first started playing, and then, like I said, my dad kind of made it kind of big, where to come into like tournament type stuff, and then I met him and we started playing, and that's how we got rolling.
So you guys grew up together, obviously, right here in Pocahontas?
Yeah.
Okay. So the team name that you guys came out with was Team Mohawk. And obviously from that name, I would think that you guys look one way, but you don't. So where did that name come from?
Actually, Clayton, at one point, he was just rocking a Mohawk all summer long.
Okay.
Don't know why. But then me and him wasn't at the time. I mean, we were just starting our friendship and everything. So then when we partnered up, I said, I'll do one too. We'll go by Team Mohawk. Now we don't really wear them, but it's just stuck ever since.
Yeah. For me, that Mohawk I was playing a lot of summer baseball throughout the year, and it was a baseball bet kind of thing, and I had a Mohawk, and then I'd go stay with my dad on the weekends and met with Briar, and we had our first tournament coming up, and we're like, what's our team name going to be? And it's like, well, let's shave you a Mohawk and just be Team Mohawk. So
your dad kind of got you involved?
Yeah, he got it as a wedding present.
Wedding gift. Oh, that's nice.
Then he called me one weekend. So I was going down there and said, have you ever heard of Baggo? And I was like, yeah, I've been playing it for like 3 years, which it wasn't competitive when I was playing it then. So then come down there and then figured out I was better than most of them. And so then they started the Baggo Bash, and everything started turning into actual like competitive stuff.
So could you beat him?
Oh yeah, I can beat him right now too.
Well, when you were younger though, you could.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's still one of the greatest though. Shout out to him.
So again, you guys just kind of show up in 2007. Back then, our state championship was at the campus of the University of Central Arkansas in Conway, Arkansas. And you guys show up, and Clayton, how old were you?
I won't say I was 13 at the time, because I remember we were there and we were arguing because my dad's girlfriend at the time, she drove us down there, and Briar had his permit at the time and was able to drive. So I think I was 13. I was not old enough to even have a permit at the time.
So I was 14 or 15.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so you did not drive, or you did drive?
No, I had a permit, but I didn't drive.
Okay. Your parents brought you there and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody trusted me.
So if I think about it like this, like I'd be, let's just say I'm a grown man out there, and here comes these parents rolling up with their kids. I mean, obviously, people had to have overlooked you guys, right? I mean, I would have if I was.
Easy.
Yeah,
Easy.
they absolutely did. We definitely, I remember some looks, especially then. We'd been at Max and got invited to that tournament there at Conway, and I remember a lot of the teams when they call the team names out and we get up there next to the boards. We definitely got some looks, and some of those looks where they think it's going to be an easy game or something like that. But soon they found out that wasn't the case. But
yeah, because when they ran that tournament, they were playing Skunks the whole way through. I think our first 5 games we won on Skunks 11-0.
yeah.
Nice.
And then that's when we started getting we were getting outside fans that day just for being kids.
So that was not was that your second tournament? You guys had actually played at Max Prairie Wings prior to that, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so that was your second tournament.
Right.
How did you do? How did you do in your first one?
Third
place.
Third place. Yeah.
Do you? So we talked about people overlooking you. I mean, I guess, do you guys recall anyone, joking that 2 kids were playing them? I mean, you guys are older now. You're in your 20s. I mean, could you imagine if you're playing a Baggo tournament and 2 13-year-olds roll up on you?
Oh yeah, like right now I'd be like, oh, this ain't gonna work.
Right.
There's no way they can beat us. But no, I didn't hear a lot. I don't guess.
It was kind of mixed. You got that feeling that they knew we were younger and knew we were kids, but it's a little bit of, as soon as they watched us play at least once, it turned into kind of a support thing. It started from they overlooked us, but once they started seeing us play, and just everyone kind of jumped on board. I remember that tournament there at Conway, we had tons of support coming down the finals and Final Four of just people, just those kids out there. They wanted to see them win. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, but like as far as playing against people, when you started the game, shook hands and all that, everybody was kind of like, oh yeah, this is gonna be easy, and they were smiling and everything. You get like halfway through it, or 11-0 or whatever, and then they started kind of trying to actually act like grown men. Then
It was a little too late, huh? So you 2 guys again. Young kids, you take out the competition at UCA, which was our first state tournament, 2007, and you win. You beat everybody there, and you win $1,000. So, I mean, it's a lot of money anytime, but I'm sure for 2 kids, you guys probably had to feel like millionaires, right?
yeah,
Do you remember what you did with the money?
I do. That actually went. I was actually fortunate enough to be raised to have kind of to have be good with my money and budget and stuff, and I put it into a savings account, and actually that's what paid for most of my first vehicle when I turned 16. So.
I thought you were about to say you still have it.
No, I wish. No.
no, me, I think I blew it on like a subwoofer and a bike or something like that.
Did your parents take a cut for bringing you?
No.
No? Oh, that's pretty nice.
No, yeah.
No, my dad wasn't there, by the way.
Yeah, my dad kind of filled in. I think you went down there with us for that tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got, in our archives, we've got a picture of you guys sitting on one of the Baggo benches that we had, and you are sitting there with your parents, and it reminds me of basketball tournaments I used to play in, and my parents were there, and they would take me, and you're just sitting there hanging out with your parents. So it's kind of cool to see that, because it's just something you don't ever really see. I mean, it's usually grown-ups at these tournaments. So that's what initially made you guys so interesting, I think, to people, was it's like, I mean, what kids show up and just beat people, like that? Right.
Yeah. I know my dad and his girlfriend at the time. They got big into it with Briar's dad, and it was just. They introduced us to it, and then me and him just kind of took over, started playing all the time. But they were all about us going to those tournaments, and even when they realized that they weren't going to win because we were consistently at home better than them, they still they saw how much we wanted to be there and we wanted to compete. So they were always supportive and getting us to those tournaments and making sure we had our buy-in and all that and able to play. So
did you have to pay him back for the buy-in, or
No.
it's just like
No,
parent thing?
Just getting going on it, because we started the bash around home, so everybody, that was our competition, and then so me and him was really good at that, And then we found the links to all these other tournaments, or going to state or whatever, and we thought we'd go down there and give it a shot. Thought we were gonna get rocked, but come to find out we were actually pretty good. Wasn't just being around home. But.
So you mentioned the Baggo Bash, and I was actually going to bring this up. Tell me about that. So who started that?
My dad.
Your dad started it,
yeah.
and is it here at the Moose Lodge? Is that right?
Well, it started out. We had a family-owned river lot and everything, and then it kind of bumped up to the James Ranch. And it's kind of transitioned over here. There's been a lot of people help throw it and alternating. Now I basically do it, but it's kind of died out since it really got started. But,
yeah, it started out there on 11 Point River, right on the banks of it, and we kept it there for the first 8-9 years of it.
Yeah,
8 years.
You combine the river lot with James Ranch, yeah, for basically most of them.
Going on year, I think last year we won it was it the 12th annual last year?
No, last year would have been 11th.
11th annual last year. So,
but it's just kind of transition. It's not that it really died out. It's like a lot more. Back in the day, a lot more people played it for like a party event and everything, and now it's gotten competitive level where you had 30 teams playing or whatever, and there was 4 or 5 you knew was going to be really good. And now it's gotten to where you don't get those teams anymore. So you might get 16 teams now, but every one of them has got a shot of winning.
Yeah. So how much do you guys play for?
I think what was the passing? Because we did, I think it was usually like 40 a team. 40 a team.
Yeah, $40 buy-in. A few years ago, we did 80.
Yeah,
just because we knew the turnout. That's kind of where we're trying to get it back up to the numbers we were hoping for, and we knew we were going to have them, so we did 80 just to make that just be a little more enticing for that buyout and that payout for first.
So how many years have you guys done that tournament? When did it start?
It's been 11 total. This last one was 11.
11, and how many times have you guys won it?
We've won it 4 times.
4 times, yeah.
I like to give a shout out to Chad and Casey too, because they dominated it. They should be going to state, which I'm calling you out right now to show up.
Yeah. You don't hear much from them anymore, but they were kind of our rivals in that tournament there for a while. But I hate that we don't see them anymore.
So how many game boards do you guys own? Do you know?
I got one, and it's not even mine. I got it off someone else. I think it's my dad's actually left over there. And then, like a trophy board, the one we won last year.
Okay. Did you don't play on that one?
No.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I think I have 3. I don't ever buy them. One was one we won at Max. Second or third year we played in it. We got second or third one year and won those boards. I've replaced the screens in that one, and then I've got our championship boards from last year, and then one other set of boards that I'm not even sure where I got from. So I got 3 sets, I think.
You mentioned the screen replacement. That's one unique thing about Baggo is that you can interchange the look of it. I brought you guys screens today for your games that you won last year. We've updated them, got your name on the trophy. That's one thing I get asked for from everybody that wins the tournament is they're asking, can I get those screens? And so anyway, I brought you guys those. But then additionally, I was going to tell you guys, Briar, I know you're a huge Chiefs fan, right?
Oh yeah, yes sir.
You're Broncos? Is that what you're saying?
Actually got the Broncos, so same division.
I don't want a fist fight right now.
Well, now, actually, I don't know if you guys are aware, but we formed a partnership with a company called Victory Tailgate, and you can actually get NFL, MLB, all officially licensed screens, bags, games, and stuff like that. It's on their website, but you can find it through our website. But, you could always get yourself some Chiefs screens and some Broncos screens. Pretty cool. But, so, do you go to Chiefs games?
No, actually, die hard. Love watching them. Don't miss a game ever, and I've never been to Arrowhead Stadium.
Okay.
Never.
Yeah, I've been to one Broncos game, which was I guess the year before last for my birthday. They were playing on my birthday in November, and we flew out to Denver to see a game.
Oh, nice.
So,
Pretty sure they lost.
they did, yeah.
You see a lot of people tailgating? You see Baggo out there, cornhole?
Yeah, I actually walked around just to kind of check stuff out, and did find I think one Baggo set. There's a couple cornhole. It's a little more popular, but there was one Baggo set, and I went up to them, trying to play. And I think I played a few games with them. They didn't want to play for any money, unfortunately, but I think I ruined that by throwing before I asked them if they want to play for money. So,
do you guys take Baggo with you go? Like if you go places, do you take it with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually.
What kind of places? You guys got any crazy places you've ever taken it? That's one of the great things about it is it's portable, so you can take it just about anywhere.
I don't guess crazy place. I mean, I've pipeline and stuff for a long time, so I mean, I take it where I've been to Pennsylvania with it. I mean, West Texas. I mean, Virginia, all over the place. But usually you get cornhole players. People want to come play because they're really good at cornhole, and then they don't do very good.
Yeah, Baggo's is definitely different. It plays different, and I've seen that some. You know, you take it some around, and I've had mine at the beach before, and somebody's, I'm a big cornhole player, and they come over and they don't really understand that it plays a little bit different.
It does, and that I've taken it a lot of places, like I said, the beach, and I've been to the lake, river, had it around. I've even, like I was saying earlier, I've even taken it into some bars there around the Dallas area that they might have a cornhole board set up, but I don't want to wait to play these people, and I just want to take the Baggo up there, so I'll set it up right next to them. And a lot of people that play cornhole, they're like, oh yeah, I want to play. And they just don't realize how different of a game it is as far as the gameplay and how you play. I tell them it's the same game, but it's it's a little different when you get to playing it.
So do your wives or girlfriends play?
No. Well, I mean, his does. Mine won't.
My girl,
she's pretty good, but she's scared to play it for some reason.
Yeah, my girlfriend actually started playing. It's something, like I was saying, people up north tend to call it bags, and she's actually from Illinois, so she used to always call it bags, which was referring to cornhole. But then once I got her playing Baggo, she was a little rough at it at first. Like, this is hard. She couldn't believe how hard it was. But after me and her playing, and we both moved to Texas around the same time, so didn't know a lot of people. So it was just me and her playing there for a while. So she just had to. She's very competitive and just got tired of losing, so she's naturally just gotten better. And I think just me and her playing, she's pretty competitive with it. Not bad.
She ever beat you?
I think she prided herself on one night.
Not say yes.
She prided herself on one night. She says she beat me in just a regular game. I don't recall the night, so that would explain why.
Do you guys? So we were talking about your shots for a minute. Do you know what holds you guys use? I don't know if you know the lingo or not, but do you know what kind of hold you use?
No, I actually the manual when I first ever seen it, I seen all the list of names, but mine's I just pinch mine and throw it high. That's all I know.
Yeah, I wad mine up kind of in a ball a certain way. I do it. I don't know if it's in the book or a certain called throw. I don't see a lot of people really throw quite like I do.
There's one called the wad. It's just a.
Yeah, and I guess that's what I do. I got a certain way I wad it up, but it's that's what I've always done. And I play with a lot of people who's never played before, and I tell them, they're like, how should I hold it? And I'm like, it's not the ideal way to throw. If I went back from day one, how I throw is not how I would hold the bag. But I'm so used to it now.
Yeah,
it's what I do. But
well, you guys both have two very unique shots. We'll start with Clayton. Clayton, when you throw, you get pretty low to the ground. Like, you used to get a lot lower than you do now, I think. In fact, I've got a picture of you from Max Prairie Wings years after you guys played your first one. It was, I don't know, probably 2013 or something. You were so low to the ground in this shot that I've got. The guy you're standing next to, your shoulder is at his waist.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was because there's a lot of wind out there. I don't know if it was because of that, or is that how you used to throw? You still kind of get low, but you don't get that low. But
yeah, I don't dip down as much as I used to. It's kind of
getting too hard on the old frame.
Yeah,
the knees.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. No, it's always kind of worked for me. It's just something I started. It's one of those things. No one told me how I should play the game or shouldn't play the game. It's just one of those. Hey, take this bag and do what you can to get it on that board or in that hole. And I did. I just started doing what felt comfortable with me, and just that dip down. I had a motion I felt I could repeat and be repetitive in, and it's always worked for me. So it's just I don't do as much anymore. It's a lot of the aim. Depends on the board. Playing on new boards, with the sleekness and stuff, you got to create a little more arch and stuff. So I've tried to change my game based on what kind of boards you play on. But I've just kind of always done that.
And Briar, yours is extremely unique. So when you shoot basketball on a free throw, you want to have a repeated motion, meaning you always want to have the same shot. And I always tell Baggo, people that are starting for the first time, if you've ever shot a basketball free throw, that's how you should shoot, and try to have a repeated motion. But your shot is one of the most unique ones I've ever seen. So you're almost like a walking shot, like you almost don't even get set. You just like step into your shot and throw. You got a huge arc with a high finish, which is great. Your left hand ends up all the way up here by the side of your head, which is like I've never seen something like that. So my question to you is, have you found, does your shot is it always the same? Is it kind of like a set player would, maybe sit here and just do that?
No.
It's not?
No, mine ranges, like when I'm actually practicing or warming up or anything like that, it looks a lot different than when I start playing. I don't know. It just, sometimes I do a lot of different stuff, I guess. It just, whatever, if something's not working, I can switch to something else. I like, when I start throwing high is usually when I'm starting to get really in rhythm. Because my normal throw, like when I'm feeling like I'm doing pretty good, is more of a, it's not low, but it's more of a line drive compared to the real high shot. When the high shot starts coming, that's because I'm feeling real comfortable.
I've played with him. I've played with you for a lot of years, and once he starts getting that little oomph and that little higher on the shot, that just means his confidence level is going up. He's starting to feel it, and he's comfortable to throw that shot.
So even when you're doing that, let's say you're throwing your high shot and you're feeling confident. All right, this bag you throw right here, your next shot. Do you think that your rhythm and your footwork is the exact same every time, or does it change a little bit?
Oh yeah, once I'm, whatever way I'm throwing, I'm trying to do it the same way. But I mean, sometimes, I don't know. Like I said, when I get in a groove, I get a lot of emotions going when I'm playing and stuff. So it varies.
And getting ready for this interview, I look back at some of the video from years past, and I noticed, I think specifically the one from last year, we have the caddies out there. And some people don't like them. Some people feel like they get in the way. I like them because they hold your drinks and bags, but I like to put my bags down, and I only want one bag in my hand. What I noticed about you is you got every bag in your left hand. Is that how you do it? Like,
yeah, I do that 24/7.
Okay.
I just started out that way, and it's worked ever since. I don't know. It's a balance, I think. Because a lot of times I could throw 3 out of 4, but then that fourth one, I'll actually miss sometimes because I don't have another bag.
Yeah.
I don't know why I do it that way, but it's always worked. And plus, I'm a rhythm. I come from a basketball background and stuff.
Okay.
So it's a rhythm thing. I like to be able to throw quick. I don't want to be able to, pick my bag up and then reset. I can do it with my feet unset and all that stuff. I just like to be in a straight rhythm motion.
Okay. How often do you guys practice or play? I mean, Clayton, you were saying that, now that you've moved, you're not playing as much. You're living in West Texas, right?
Yeah, I'm in the Dallas area right now, yeah.
So do you play a lot, or do you just, is it kind of seasonal for you?
Yeah, mostly seasonal. During the summer, it's hot down there, so we'll go to the pool a lot on the weekends during the summer. Maybe on a Saturday they're out at the pool, I'll bring it out. But a lot of it is just, when we were living here, it was every weekend there was little backyard tournaments, all that stuff, and I think that's what made us good when we were younger. But now I just, I don't play much, and if I do, I set it up and play a few games with guys, and then kind of just let them have it. I don't throw very often at all. I mean, I think before state, I was talking to him a week before last year's state tournament, and I told him, I was like, hey, I got some boards. It's a week before, and I got out here to play, and that was the first time I think I'd thrown in like 8 months, before that. So
same here. When I was younger, it was every day, all day, and stuff like that. And nowadays, our preparation anymore is like mental, because physical, we feel like we can just. You definitely want to practice. It doesn't mean like not practice or anything, but like I went, pretty sure 7 months or something like that prior to state. So when we went in, we was confident in beating anybody, but you go in, you ain't had that much practice. You're thinking in your head like, okay, but it's not going to go that well, but it's got a good practice in Friday night, and we started throwing really early Saturday morning, but for like 7 months, that was the first time we had thrown, and then we came out and got in rhythm.
So, all right, so we have the Oaklawn Baggo State Championship coming up in 3 weeks. Tell me what that's going to be like for you guys. Like, at what point do you really start trying to turn it on, or is it going to be just
I'll be doing
the week
it starting now. We usually working on the road and stuff. I didn't do it that much, but I'm going to be home for a little while, so yeah, I'll be playing every day for here on out.
Yeah, for me back home, I'm busy. I'm a full-time college student as well as working full-time, so it'll be every few weeks on a weekend day I might get a few games in. That's gonna be about it. I probably no hardcore preparation or anything else.
What's the most you guys have ever made in a row? Do you know? I saw you, Briar, the other night. I think you said that you had thrown like 31 or 34 in or something like that.
21 or 24. I had a spell check on that one. I missed it. Went 21 or 24, but I think like the most in a row has been 15.
Okay.
Yeah, me I don't.
17?
17.
Apparently I did 17 one.
Yes. You did.
Me, I don't know. I'm not the statistician that Briar is. So I don't try to keep up with it, and no more than I practice, I don't keep up with it. You know, I try to keep up with wins mostly. I want to win. That's all I care about.
So again, today we're in Pocahontas, Arkansas, at the Moose Lodge, and it's about 20 miles or less from the Missouri border. As I mentioned, Clayton, you came in from West Texas to meet with us, and definitely appreciate you coming up. I know you wanted to come back home, but we discussed possibly meeting you, but it really felt like you guys wanted to do it here, which is cool with me. But does Pocahontas mean a lot to you guys? Obviously you grew up here.
Yeah, I went to school in Walnut Ridge, which is only 15 miles from here. Grew up there. Briar went to Holland.
Yeah, rival school.
So when Baggo was introduced to us, or at least to me, when we got serious and we met each other, was here in Pocahontas, and it was that's where we met each other. It's where we started playing seriously, started playing Baggo, and that's where the game's huge here, and it's something I don't think a lot of people understand unless they come here and see it. The competition that's in this area, the people in this area, they take it serious. You just go to a random backyard tournament around here, and it's just as good as any Final Four we've ever probably played in.
Oh yeah.
It's that kind of competition, and that's what we love about it. It's what built us and made us as good as we are. It's the competition and the stuff we get to experience around this area. So yeah, this will always mean a lot to us.
Yeah, and then like when we're going to state and stuff, we're bringing 10 to 12 teams almost every time too. Now, when we play around here, everybody hates each other, but up there, as soon as one drops out, they're on board with whoever's left, and that's why we get kind of the fan base and stuff we do.
Yeah, when you guys show up, definitely you guys are definitely representing Pocahontas, and I hear you guys talk about that, so that's why I was just curious, if this is just a really special place to you guys. I've never been here. It's really pretty up here. We're kind of sitting in a half outdoor natural area.
Yeah, I hear the bird.
You can hear a bird in the background. Yeah, but it's such a beautiful day up here. And but yeah, you guys mentioned when you come, you don't come alone. You guys have like a little caravan that comes with you. So are you guys to drive to Hot Springs from here is what, about 3 hours?
Yeah, three and a half.
Yep.
So do you guys all drive separately, or y'all rent a big van coming down?
No, everybody kind of comes is like, you don't ever know who's really coming. Once stay gets posted on social media, then everybody kind of makes their mind up whether they're going or not. Like me and Clayton, he comes from wherever he's coming from, and then I come from somewhere else. We meet up, we get hotel rooms, and then everybody. It's pretty cool because you'll get like someone already there, and then people just start rolling in. So then the whole hotel parking lot turns into a party. We get a lot of bad complaints from the neighbors.
Yeah, last year, you guys had quite a following, and the cool thing about y'all's following is that, and not just with you guys, but I assume that this would have been the same. All your crews stuck around and watched you guys and was really pulling you guys, pulling for you and probably helping pull you through. And it's the setting that we're in at Oaklawn is, they've got a casino, it's a resort, and there's horses running. So it would have been very easy for your guys to, if they lost early, to just say, hey, I'm going to go watch the horses run, which, you can still see it from the infield, but they stuck around and watched you guys and really cheered for you stuff. So, it's pretty cool to see. I don't know a lot of groups would actually probably do that. They might come back for your final game, obviously, but they were in every game for you guys.
Yeah, most people don't, but like I said, we all got each other's back. A lot of other teams don't like it. They hate it, actually. But for me, it's opposite. If we didn't have the following, so if it was just me and him and nobody was rooting for us, and we had people rooting against us, I think it actually played better. Like I know some people use that like a bad gesture, I guess. But
yeah, it's well, people just it's hard to explain really. People don't understand that the guys around here how much Baggo means to people. It's a way of life for most of us now. We grew up with it.
Yeah, it's more like NBA and NFL than to a lot of people. It's more like golf. A lot quieter and stuff like that. To us, we get loud and like I said, a lot of people around here have fist fight out here playing there, but then we go there and we're all best friends.
Well, we're going to take a break for a minute, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about last year's Oaklawn tournament, and we're going to talk about this year's, which I'm going to mention real quick. It's coming up on April 4th, and so if you're listening to the podcast, come out, join us for a live day of racing and gaming. We have huge cash payouts. This is the 2020 Arkansas Baggo State Championship at Oaklawn Racing Casino and Resort. The tournament is going to be held on April 4th, 2020. And we're going to register the day of 11 to 12 o'clock. Tournament usually tries to start around 12:30. It is a double elimination tournament. And the amount of teams sometimes varies. Sometimes we have 50 teams. We have had up to 128 before. Again, it's on the infield, so you get to sit there and see all the horses run around you. It's pretty cool. It's a very neat setting. $3,000 cash and prizes up for grabs. It's $50 for your two-person teams. You must be 18 or older to enter. We'll come right back with Briar and Clayton.
Throughout the podcast, you've heard us talk about the Arkansas Baggo State Championship coming up on April 4th, 2020. $50 gets your team entered into the tournament. There's no experience required. You do not have to be a resident of Arkansas. Over $3,000 cash and prizes are up for grabs in this double elimination style tournament. We would love for you to join us on April 4th, 2020 at Oaklawn Racing Casino and Resort, where they now have over 1,500 slot games, table games, and sports wagering in the all-new 28,000 square foot gaming space. Now let's get back to episode 3.
All right, we are back with Clayton and Briar, Team Mohawk. So we're going to talk about last year and how you guys just kind of reappeared. So in the break, we were just sitting here talking, and Briar, you mentioned that we don't see you at every tournament. Is it just work related, or because like you guys didn't come and play in our national championship this last year? You don't do every tournament like a lot of guys. A lot of guys are going to every single tournament. Is there a reason behind that, or do you guys is it schedules, or do you just kind of want to keep it exclusive to showing up and just mopping the floor with people, or what?
No, it's literally it was work related.
Yeah.
I try to make them as much as I can. Now, the main two is nationals and state for me. That's the only ones I really know about. So I don't really venture out much. I mean, those are the ones I try to make. And if, like the last few years, I haven't been able to, hopefully in the future I'll be going to all of them.
Yeah, for me, I'd like to play as many as possible. I want to see the sport grow and play as many as possible, obviously, and just add some more to our list. But when Briar, he's been working on the road and stuff like that, so he can't always make them. And I played a few years. I played with Jarrett a couple of years ago. I think we got 4th in state and ended up getting 4th in nationals that year. I played with Paul one year, and
Kevin, I played with Kevin too.
I played with Kevin one year. And we've done decent, but it's we've played together for so long. So if he's not there, it's just not the same.
Yeah.
It's not the same drive and the same passion I have for the game. So it's when he's on the road, it really makes things hard to show up to all these tournaments.
You can definitely tell. We were also talking in the break about just how much bagels actually being played up here. I mean, right now in the background we've got a group of guys playing, and you can hear the bags hitting the boards. And you guys are obviously throwing a lot of bags up here. You said as soon as this interview's over, you guys are going to go out here and play with these guys, right?
Oh yeah. Hopefully we'll get a little money tournament going.
Yeah, we're always looking for these backyard tournaments, and that's what we love about it up here, because the tournaments up here is, people think it's just a few people playing bags, but people take it so serious, and that's what we love about it. That's what drove our passion. I think that's why we're able to play so good under pressure when we go to these big tournaments, because what we practice with here.
So let's say that there's a tournament that you guys are going to go to. Obviously, Oaklawn starts at around noon each year, but is there, do you guys have any? We talked about your preparation, but do you guys got any superstitions? Like, do you got a certain meal you want to eat or anything like that, or anything?
Usually we have a fun night the night before. Try to go to bed early, but it usually doesn't happen. So our preparation's a lot different than a lot of people. We're supposed to get a good night's rest and not do too much pregame festivities, but we usually do. Other than that, that's about it.
Yeah, for us, it's a more, we look at it more mental than anything. Just being mentally prepared and fired up and motivated going to the tournaments. And it's like I said, we the nights before the tournaments, we try to keep it calm and just maybe get a little practice in. That don't always work out for us. Sometimes we stay up a little later and don't get the sleep we'd like to, but we as long as we're mentally ready and we're able to talk to each other, it's just a connection we have that we're able to show up and play well in these tournaments.
So last year at Oakland, you guys ended up winning. We'll go over that here in a second. But you won $1,500 between the two of you. What did you guys do? Anything special, or you just pay some bills, or?
Actually, yeah, I did pay some bills with that.
Yeah, I mean, afterwards we went out to eat. And of course we weren't tight on our money going out to eat and having a few drinks and stuff like that. For me, I paid, coming from Dallas, so I was staying in a hotel for 2 nights and paying for gas. So it was nice getting to come in, have a good time, play a little Baggo, and pay for my trip in and my travel, and come home with just a couple.
You got the vacation for free, basically.
Right, a little
That's
vacation with a couple $100 to spare when I get home.
So you talked about you guys went out to eat. Is that like if you guys were to win again this year? I mean, what does a celebration not look like for you? You guys just going out?
This year will be some champagne popping, and whatever we got, we plan on both blowing.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. I might put it all on red on some roulette and see if I can't double my money.
I was wondering if you guys gave any money back on your way out the door or not.
Yeah, I'm not a big gambler normally. I'm not big into going too tight on my money for that. But we play in these enough, and it's we're all out on our money right now. So if we win a little, I wouldn't put it past myself to go out there and gamble a little bit or.
Especially because if we win this year, that's back-to-back, and I know that's hard to do.
It's very hard.
It's no trash talking. I do feel like we can do it. And we could just as easily lose in the first 2 games too, go 0-2. But yeah, if we can pull the back-to-back off, we're probably gonna have a pretty good celebration. Yeah. I'm not a shot to Facebook, by the way, so y'all be seeing it.
So much of tournaments are your draw that you get. I mean, you guys could literally match up against, one of the best teams out there in the very first time, because we don't seed teams. Some people have said that we should. Maybe we should. I don't know. It's hard. Like, you guys show up, I know who you are, and if we get another team that shows up, I may know who they are. But the state championship and our national championship that we do, that's open to anybody that really wants to come. In fact, you don't have to be a state resident of Arkansas. I mean, you could come up from Louisiana, Missouri, Texas, whatever, and play and win it. So, I mean, anybody could win. So that's the hard thing, is that you don't always know who you guys are matching up against. But a lot of it has to do there's a lot of luck. But we'll go over last year's tournament with you guys. I'm going to start actually by asking you, what kind of is there a loss that hangs in your head that you wish you could have back?
Yeah, actually, last year, I know we won last year, but I feel like you come out of the winner's bracket, you end the game, the first game, because the losers, they get 2 games to play, and especially playing the team we played last year, it's one of the hottest teams you will ever see in your life. And when you lose game 1 to them, you give them the momentum. Momentum's not in our possession no more. So to me, losing last year, that was one of the biggest ones. I felt like we should have won game 1, got through that, and got out of Dodge, because we about played around too long. And you don't play with a team like that.
Yeah, I agree. We made it through the whole tournament, and that's something we try to do every matchup we have, is we want to get out to a hot start, win game 1, and it takes all the pressure off us and allows us to play better. And we hadn't lost all day in any matchup play, and that was the first game we lost, and we knew, like, wow, that puts us in a hole. We're gonna have to come back and win 2 straight, but luckily we were able to overcome it and come back and win.
Yeah, let's go over that. So you guys, let's see, you guys at the 2019 Arkansas Baggo State Championship, you guys came out pretty hot. Okay, so round 1, you guys won 21-9. Round 2, 21-8. Round 3, 21-5. Round 4, 21-14. So in the 3 rounds, nobody scored over 10 on you. Then you win 21-14. Round 5, 21-12 versus Reed Oaks. So right there, you guys put out the defending national champion into the losers bracket. So you guys are probably feeling pretty good right then?
Oh, yeah. To me, it started in the game previous to that, the one we won 21-14. Me and him, we got off to a great start. We won every game. Not saying easy, because no team's easy anymore, but we had some games. I didn't feel like we was playing top notch. Like I said, we won 21-8. I think the first 2 games, or 21-7, whatever. But the first game we went 21-14. We were actually down 14-3 to start that off. I think it was against Sliding Dirty or.
Yeah, something that sounds about
and,
right.
we was down 14-3, and we wasn't really not on target. Just everything was bouncing off the board onto the ground. So then we dialed in a little bit. Me and him, we got a weird connection. We could look at each other and tell when stuff's going to get locked in. We went on an 18-0 run, 121-14.
Wow.
And that's when I knew that we got a shot at actually winning this thing. Because we ain't played in so long together at these big ones. So that was the tall tale sign that, hey, we can go do this.
Well, you guys get to round 6, and in the semis, you play ETB, which is the English Teabaggers. They're a known team around here. You win 21-14. So now you've beaten pretty much all the stiff competition. You're sitting at 6-0, and you're in the championship game. All you need is one win, and the tournament's over, kind of like you talked about a minute ago. But out of the losers bracket comes Reed Oaks, who you've already played and beaten once on the day. They're the defending national champions. All you need is one win, but you guys lose 21-12. At that point, your back's up against the wall. Next game wins. What kind of pressure is that?
There's a lot of pressure because it screws the whole mental part of it up because now you know you lose, you're out. Been doing good the whole day, and that's just how these tournaments work. So we get into it, and I think the biggest throw of the game, if you watch the video, Oaks has all kinds of points available to score on him. If Clayton throws the bag and takes some of his in, we lose that game. He threw it in the dirt. Threw it to me. They got 1 point, and to me that changed the whole deal. Kept it within reach.
Yeah, like you said, they won that first game. That's the first game we lost all day, and it's, like Brian mentioned, we have a type of connection that's, I'm not going to try to explain right now, but it's something we can just look at each other and know that, hey, we've got to kick this in another gear, and we've got to straighten up, and that's something we've been so successful over the years. It's just, hey, now's go time. We can't. We got to quit messing around, and it's got to be now. There's not a throw not one more throw we can let go by, not anything, and we're able to do that. And a lot of it just comes from, I think, in that finals in that second game, we knew that. We talked to each other and we said, hey, this got to be it right now.
Yeah.
We got to get straight, and it's one of those things that's we pride ourselves on that first, every throw we have, that first bag being in the hole, it sets the tone. It gets in the other person you're throwing his head. If you can get that first bag in the hole, it means everything. And that's something we were able to do and just battle through. We're able to come back and get those next 2 games.
Keep chipping away. And like I had to, in my mind, I was thinking we got to jumpstart something because everything was dull. We got the fans around watching us, all that stuff. Everybody's quiet. So I think I went on like a streak of throwing 9 straight in the hole, if I'm not mistaken. I've watched it 1,000 times. I think Reed still outscored me somehow. But, cause, that dude's insane. But I sparked everything. Crowd got back into it. Yeah. Clayton's my closer. He went off. Yeah, the best closer in the game right there.
Yeah, that was something that, I know Briar, he's going to be, when the competition's there, I know Briar's going to be right there with him. And he can play with, when he's hot, he's the best Baggo player I've ever seen in my life. And it's something that, we've had tournaments where I'll carry him, he'll carry me. But when he's on, he's the best Baggo player. But I tell you what, Reed, that game, Reed was on, but Briar was on and able to hold him that whole game. So I realized how this game was going. I was like, well, pressure's on me. I got to beat my guy. I realized he's doing everything he can, throwing great. I've got to point him away. I've got to get at least, I got to score every time I throw, at least get a point. And we were able to do that, and it worked out for us pretty well.
Yeah, the final match that we're talking about, it'll be playing right now on the YouTube version of the podcast, but you guys get down early, 8-4, and then Briar drops 5 and you pull up 9-8, and the next 5 rounds you guys outscore them 10-2, so you're up 19-10 at that point, and you only need 2 points for the win. Then at that point, Neil takes 3 from Briar. It's now 19-13. Next round, Clayton scores 1, and now it's 20-13. But all you guys needed was 1 point at that point after Clayton had scored 1. But as you were talking about, Neil was pretty hot. He dropped 7 on you.
Yep, 7. He scored 7 on me. He threw all 4 in the hole. So he dropped 7, throwing all 4 in the hole. I had a bad round. He got me. He wins the head-to-head battle there too. But I felt confident because, like I said, that makes it 20-20. But there was nothing else. He could not win that game. I put 5 on the board. So 7-5. He gets his points or whatever. And then it was all on Clayton.
Yeah, and based how this game was going, I could tell how it was. The way him and Reed were throwing, it was.
No, I didn't want it back. I didn't want it back. And I consider myself. I'll play with anybody in the world, and I consider myself a great closer. But that's the time Clayton. He's got to take that one.
Yeah, I had all the confidence in Briar, but it was definitely one of those games where Reed's on his game, and it was one of those that. I've been able to get some points on Oaks so far throughout the game, and get whether it was just one or two, I knew I had the confidence that I could do that, and I could match up with him throw for throw. And when Briar did that, it had me a little nervous there for a little bit. But when I counted them, I said it was 7. That's 20, and I was relieved. And then I immediately went from relieved, like don't let that take over, and immediately switched into like, okay, we've got to do this right here. Like this has got to be it. And then I think that next throw I did make the first bag.
No. What you did is I changed my mind on the biggest throw of the game because it wasn't the first one. Actually, Oaks puts one right in front of the hole, like perfect throw. If anybody's scripting it, that's what you do. You throw it right in front of the hole, put the pressure on. Instead of Clayton trying to throw over it, like something I would do. Yeah. He takes both of them. So now the board's clear. And then Oaks misses, Clayton makes it, and then the rest was history.
Yeah.
Yeah, Clayton put two in and 2 off. Michael put 1 in, 1 on, and 2 off. And it's amazing that you guys were able to hang on, because a lot of people. You guys are 1 point away at 20-13. You need 1 point. They creep back in. Now it's 20-20. And some people, a lot of doubt would be creeping in your mind. I see that in sports. My favorite, college basketball team is notorious for, letting the team get back in on them. And then you just see it coming from a mile away. You're like, oh, we're already going to lose this game. But so you guys take them down. Team Mohawk wins it. So 12 years later, right? You win your second state championship. What was that like for it to all come back around again? Because you guys hadn't won any in between, and so there's just such a long drought there. But what was it like to win your second? Was it as good as your first? Was it better?
Oh yeah, no, it was. To me, it was better because I was a kid at the first one, and I think it helps make us better too, because we went through the spell, where we've actually been to 4 finals. Actually been in 4 total state championship finals. We were younger, so our mental part of our game, we always thought was good. We always thought we were closers. But when you're young, losses hurt different. Everything's a lot different because you're kids. So now that we're adults, we've actually not even. This is our second one we've played together since I've been past 21 years old. Yeah. So I think our mental part of our game is better than it ever has been. I think our physical part of the game is as good as it ever has been. Things worked out. Said it's our second time to play with each other since I've been older than 21. But yeah, it feels real good. It feels as good as it ever has.
Yeah, and I would say that tournament we won in 07 was, like I said, I was mentioning earlier, was some of the best competition we've ever had. And, and some of that made I don't remember exact bags that were made or the exact throws that happened. But I know.
Sorry, I think Briar remembers them for you.
Yeah. He may be remember a little better than me, but I just said that competition, that one was unreal. But this last year, just the fact that going into it, we know we haven't played in all these tournaments. We know we've had some time off. He's been gone. We don't practice a lot. We just we still have that passion, that drive to play, and that competitive edge that we have. And we'll talk to each other over the phone, not even playing. Hey, you throwing him once? No, me either. Well, we're still talking Baggo though. Yeah. We have this connection that, I can't explain, and it's something that we talked about. How cool would that be if we won this? All the success we've had, and how cool would that be if we could show up and just the first one state tournament we played in a while together. Because all these times we've had to miss. And then the fact that to show up and be able to do that was, it was awesome. Yeah, I can't explain it.
And the kicker is everybody because a lot of people don't know us anymore. You got all these new teams playing. We was in a prime early, but we actually wasn't, because I think we're entering our prime. I think this is like a good 10, 12-year plan. I'll give my shout out Reed Oaks. They're the best team in the game right now. If you're ranking teams, they go to everything. They've been dominating. best team, but Mohawk's coming. I want that to be known.
Yes, sir.
Well, you guys, when I asked you your a loss that hangs over your head, you mentioned game 1. What would a sweep have meant to you guys if you guys could have went 7-0?
It's what you're supposed to do when you come out of the winner's bracket, because it's too, especially a team like that. You're not playing best of 3 or anything, so you're not getting like another shot at it. And a team that hot, a team that good, you let them win. It gives them the confidence, and you've seen how it went. They about won the game. But yeah, if you just it'd have been nice to go undefeated, icing on the cake, get the job done early, go home.
Yeah. I mean, for us, it was, when we come in and we haven't lost all day going into that. It's something we pride ourselves in. We take pride in. After the day, no matter what tournament it is we play in, we go back and we look at what was our overall record. It's not. Yeah, we might have won the tournament, but we look at those every best 2 out of 3 games, and we try to look at what we did, because we know. Yeah, it might have worked out for us this time, but not every time is that going to be a difference maker. So we know how much those little games, whether we lost 1 but we won the 2 out of 3, we know how easily those can slip away, and like it almost did there in the finals. I mean, 2020, you couldn't have dreamt up a better finals than that, really.
Well, it's interesting that you guys say that was the loss that hangs over your head, because when I interviewed Neil and Michael, this is what they had to say.
This past state championship.
I knew you was gonna say that.
We played twice, against the team that was undefeated. We beat them the first time, and then the second game, very, very close. I think we were down 15-20, and I scored 5.
13-20.
Tied up at 20, and I feel like I left a point on the board. I really didn't know what the score was at that time, and so that kind of haunts me there. So that's mine.
Yeah, I agree with Neil on that one. That was a tough loss.
So it's interesting. You guys say that the loss that hangs in your head is the one that you lost to them, and they're saying the exact same. So it's pretty good. It's pretty cool, and I think it will set up for what could be a good matchup this year. It's interesting because a lot of times the champion actually comes out of the loser's bracket. The majority of the tournaments that we run and that we see, the majority of the time, the winner comes out, because winner's bracket guys kind of, you're not going to play as many games as they will in the losers bracket, so they'll get a few extra games in on you. They'll come out hot, and it's weird. It happens almost every single year. So you guys actually kind of broke a trend that we were seeing, that the losers were going to come out and win, and actually, they did come out and beat you guys the first game, and that's what I remember watching you guys, and I thought this is going to happen again, and it's weird how it happens, but you guys were definitely able to buck that. One-on-one, you guys, who's going to win out of, let's say, the best out of 7? Who's going to win?
7 games?
Yeah.
If you could somehow split that in half to like 3.5, that's how it works. It alternates.
Honestly, it depends on the day. If you ask a lot of people to go to these tournaments, they're going to say Briar. And if you ask me, I'll tell you Briar's the best Baggo player I've ever seen, because he is. And a lot of that, and that's something we, as a team,
2 different styles.
It's 2 different styles of play, and that's something we pride ourselves as a team, because there's certain things we do individually that makes us such a good team. You watch Briar throw, and he can just get on fire and just be lights out, and it's spectacular to watch. Just stuff you couldn't dream of. But it's, there's times also where I get my confidence high, and I'm throwing well, and I like to. Briar's a right in the hole, high arcing, right in the hole kind of throwing guy. I'm more of a slider. I like to throw a blocker up there. I like to throw it right in front of the hole and mess with people, and that's what I do. I like to play my game based on my opponent, and that's what I do a lot, and that's just kind of how I play. But I think our styles combined makes us such a great team. But yeah, it really depends on the day, I think. But I'd give Briar the edge most days, but I'm never scared of a challenge either.
We'll be playing after this. Best way to describe it, if you could teammate Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady together, completely different styles, but that's the way it is right there.
With the best ever.
Yeah.
Well, definitely appreciate you guys meeting with me today. Do you got anything else for us? Any closing remarks? Want to give a shout out to anybody, or do you want to throw any challenges out there?
Oh no, I just appreciate you having us on here. Like I said, Reed Oaks, all these good teams. Y'all been around long enough. We're coming for everybody. We are coming from everybody. And the biggest shout out I want to give is to GNT, one of the best teams I've ever faced. They don't get a lot of hype anymore. GNT, badass team.
Yeah, and I'll build off that. Yeah, GNT's, they're one of those teams that they're there from one of the first tournaments. They were the first, I guess you say rival we met. They were a team that they were at the top of their game when we were young, and they've seen us over the years. And so, yeah, that's a great team. I love those guys, a couple of good guys, But, yeah, I appreciate you having us on. It's something that we want to be able to play more of these, not just showing up and then you don't hear from us for a few years. Like I'm hoping
we're hungry.
I'm hoping, we're hungry. We want to go to the next level, not just winning a tournament every now and then enough for us. So we're here, and we're hoping to make a lasting impression that the world's never seen before.
Well, I've definitely enjoyed talking with you guys today. I think it's been a great interview. I'm ready to put it together and get it out there next week for everybody. This is a promo for the 2020 Arkansas Baggo State Championship at Oaklawn. Come out and compete versus teams like Team Mohawk. See what you've got, and we're excited to see you guys compete for a repeat championship this year, guys. Again, it's April 4th. It's at Oaklawn Racing Casino and Resort in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Huge payouts, $3,000 cash and prizes up for grabs. Tournament will start 11 a.m. and registration's from 11 to 12. Tournament should start around 12:30. It's $50 for your two-person teams. Must be 18 years or older to compete. You can find all the info at baggo.com, and we will also post a link with our podcast here. To pre-register, all you really got to do is just send us your team information, and just let us have a good contact phone number for you, and we'll put you down on our roster, and we'll be expecting you that day. Otherwise, you can come out and register that day of. We'll be out on the infield at Oaklawn, and hopefully it'll be a great day of racing, and we'll see some Baggo, and we'll see if these guys can pull it off and be a third-time state champion. So good luck to you guys, and enjoy. We'll be looking forward to seeing you here in a few weeks.
Hey, one last thing. Has anybody ever won it 3 times, state championship? Because I've done the math, and I don't think nobody has.
I don't think so consecutively. I know I think English Teabaggers won at least twice.
Two. They went back-to-back.
It's on your trophy.
Yeah. Travis has went back
twice, yeah.
So we'll see.
So no, you guys could definitely be the first. In fact, our national championship that we had never had a repeat winner until this last year, and we've been doing it for 7 or 8 years. So it's very hard to do. I mean, I hope you guys can. Man, you guys are a fun team to watch, and we'll be wishing you luck. So we'll see you here in a few weeks.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.